What's up YouTube, it's the one and only Legend of Winning, aka Low, and I'm back with another video. In today's video we are discussing my top 3 underrated players in the league. I wanted to do 4, but I really didn't feel like there were 4 prominent underrated players. But if you feel like I'm missing someone, as always, you can put it in the comment section below and let me hear why you believe they're underrated or anybody else that I might miss throughout the entire league. And before we get into today's video, let me give a huge shout out to today's sponsors, and they are SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a platform that gives its users the ability to buy tickets to all of their favorite events at a very reasonable price. Everything from the NBA, NFL, concerts, and everything else in between, SeatGeek has your back. Now when it comes to finding the right ticket, it is super easy. SeatGeek utilizes not only a map but also a color-coded system, so you make sure that you're getting a really good price while also getting a good viewing angle of whatever you're watching. I use SeatGeek all the time, as I've told you multiple times before, and I actually got this opportunity to watch Trae Young hit a game winner against the Milwaukee Bucks, which was just amazing. And to make the deal even sweeter for all the new users out there, SeatGeek is actually giving me a promo code to receive $20 off on your first purchase. All you have to do is type in LOW in the promo code section to again receive your $20 off on your first purchase. So go to SeatGeek.com or download the app, or even easier for you, click the link in the description. It will redirect you to the platform itself. Sign up, buy your tickets at a very reasonable price, and use my promo code LOW for $20 off on your first purchase. And a huge thank you goes to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. Now the first player that I have to highlight is De'Aaron Fox. Fox is a second-year guard who plays for the Sacramento Kings, and in his second year in the NBA, he was actually really good. I think so many people got caught up in other players such as Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum going through their sophomore slump that they overlooked how great of a season De'Aaron Fox had. Fox ended his sophomore season averaging 17 points and 7 assists, which immediately puts him amongst some of the other elite level guards in their second years throughout NBA history, as there's only been 30 other players throughout NBA history in their sophomore season to average 15 plus points as well as 7 plus assists. This combination of being a scoring threat as well as a great facilitator makes De'Aaron Fox a deadly threat against the opponent, as De'Aaron Fox ended his second year shooting 37% from behind the arc and 46% from the field, which is vastly impressive because, again, this is a player that no one was expecting to shoot this well from the field, especially spacing it to the three-point line, which makes De'Aaron Fox a bit more dynamic than some of his predecessors such as John Wall and Russell Westbrook. I'm not saying that he's the same athlete as either one of those players, but entering the NBA, of course, those were some of the comparisons that he was drawing from, and with his ability this season to space out the floor and be a consistent three-point shooter, added a dynamic to the offense that many opponents were not expecting. Also, this dynamic allowed Buddy Hield to be a little bit more dynamic in the offense as well, and not just be your stereotypical catch and shoot player, as he picked up some prominent ball handling duties. Another thing that was very interesting about De'Aaron Fox this year was his turnover rate, turning the ball over fewer than 3 times a game, which is basically unheard of regardless of the level of experience that you have in this league. But the fact that De'Aaron Fox is able to control his turnover rate at such a young age speaks volumes to the type of productivity that he has to offer to this team, which makes De'Aaron Fox's sophomore season way better than I think many people give him credit for. Granted, in the big picture, his numbers weren't something to go crazy for, and you can make an argument that if he didn't have a player such as Buddy Hield on his roster, then especially his efficiency numbers may have taken a massive dip. But if you look at the way he plays, he executes the offense, there's a level of consistent steadiness as well as his level of IQ that is displayed that is a bit beyond his years. And when you're talking about a player who is so explosive, it's just something that you don't expect.
Comes away with it. Collins, cross, over Luka.
As an Atlanta native, I probably watch a little bit more John Collins than the average consumer, and so I do fear from time to time that potentially I may be overrating him, but I believe the numbers speak for themselves, and just watching him play, he was amazing for multiple stretches throughout the entire year. Collins finished his second year in the league averaging 19.5 points and nearly 10 rebounds a game while only playing 30 minutes. He also converted 56% of his shots while also shooting nearly 35% from behind the arc. But the one thing that separated John Collins from a lot of other big men that he possibly is being compared to is the fact that when he got to the free throw line, he was shooting over 75%. Now, that is one thing that is a bit concerning as Collins continues to develop as a player. He does come across as is a bit one-dimensional, as he may just turn out to be a pick and roll big, but even if that's the case, he finishes around the rim so well that it's hard for him not to be successful as just a pick and roll big. Another thing that was also very impressive about Collins is, again, the amount of minutes that he played, in which he only averaged 30 a game. No, I'm not going to utilize the per 36 numbers. All I'm going to do is look at the 33 games in which he received 30 to 39 minutes, and in those 33 games, he was averaging 21.5 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 assists. Which possibly means if Collins just received more time, he could potentially be a 20-10 player in his sophomore season. Now, to put that into context, throughout NBA history, there have been a plethora of players who averaged 20 and 10 in their sophomore season, but in recent memory, since the year 2000, there have only been 5 players in their sophomore year to average 20 and 10. Those players are Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, Blake Griffin, and Elton Brand. But even if we were to just lower the bar to 19 points and 9 rebounds, that 5-man list only expands to 7 players now, and those 2 additional players are Amari Stoudemire and John Collins. So you can clearly see the potential. The problem is that I think that so many people overlooked John Collins just because how interesting of a rookie campaign that Trae Young had. And then in the slam dunk contest, he kind of embarrassed himself as well, so that was also problematic. Nevertheless though, in today's NBA, it seems as if John Collins is one of those bigs that you want to have on your team. Nice athletic build, he can run up and down the court, he's very fluent in the pick and roll half court setting, and defensively he does have some work to do, but there is definitely potential there with the frame, the size, and the athleticism.
Bogdanovic checked into the game for the Clippers. Harris, say it with your chest.
And finally, we have Tobias Harris. If you're new to the channel, you may not be aware, but Tobias Harris is actually one of my favorite players, so I will openly admit I am a bit biased for Tobias, which is one of my more cornier sayings, but Tobias Harris is a really good 6'9" power forward who spent majority of his year playing for the Clippers, but in the middle of the season played for the Philadelphia 76ers, and it seems as if that transition could not have worked out any better. As Tobias Harris is a multi-dimensional offensive player who can attack the basket, catch and shoot from behind the arc, post up, and even initiate the offense as well. Over the past couple of years, Harris has been a consistent 17 to 18 point scorer, but this year in particular, he nearly eclipsed 21 points per game on really impressive shooting splits with his time with the Clippers. But then when it came to Philly, his 3-point percentage did dip a little bit. However, it has gone up now. He's in the postseason, which is again a big reason why Tobias Harris is so impressive to me. In a league where so many teams want a flex forward, the players who are the same height as a power forward but have the skill set of a small forward, Tobias Harris, theoretically speaking, should be at the top of nearly every team's free agency list, but it seems as if he's not. Add on top of the fact that he's not going to demand any ridiculous amount of money, and by the time you sign him, he's only going to be 27 years old. So again, how Tobias Harris just continues to go underneath the radar is a bit ridiculous, and in my opinion, he should have been an all-star, but at bare minimum should have received more votes than he received. Now, with all that being said, people, please let me know what you think about the list in the comment section below. If you felt like I missed anyone, please let me know as well. I'm pretty sure many of you all are going to talk about Jrue Holiday or Damian Lillard or CJ McCollum. And again, huge thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description, LOW, for $20 off on your first purchase. And I will see you all next time. Peace.